When I've been trying to do this video, I've just been all over the place because I just don't know how to take it. Because I'm trying to deny that it really saddens me, but it does. I'm talking about the fact that over the past 30 years in Japan, there have been 100 instances where high school boys have been paralyzed because they're requiring judo for PE in Japan. And there are at least a couple hundred other cases where people have either been paralyzed or had other life-altering injuries. So that's did I say 100 deaths before? I think I said 100 paralyzed. There's been 100 deaths and about 200 people paralyzed or worse, or comparable, crippled in some way, maimed for judo in Japan. And a lot of these have occurred during practice. There was some talk, I remember, well, there's typically talk back in the day and even today in American football where the coaches push the people too hard. The person may have a heart attack, dehydrate, die. But in the martial arts where you're supposed to have this code of honor and integrity, and you know, judo has mutual welfare and benefit, Taekwondo has courtesy. What is it of mutual welfare and benefit to kill the player? It's definitely not courteous. What does it show? Are you testing their indomitable spirit? It's not efficient. Maximum efficiency, minimum effort is not efficient to kill the player. You know, I tell kids, when I see the kids getting overzealous in class, you know what I tell them? I tell them, now don't break your partner because you're not going to get a new one. Everybody laughs and then they kind of back off and settle down. Very rarely I have to say something like that to the adults. But come on, people. If you are looking for a warrior ethic or you want to prepare people for war, these days people have guns. Now, do we stand people up with bulletproof vests on and let them get shot multiple times so that they can believe that a bullet will hurt you? No. But maybe that's part of the problem with the martial arts. People want to use it as some sort of rite of passage. And see, now, while I would want to blame it all on the coaches, I know better than that. Because I've been a student. I technically still consider myself to be a student. I'll always be a student. But I'm talking about before I started teaching at all, when I was just a regular old student, regardless of style, I did not believe that I had learned anything unless there was some kind of pain or exhaustion involved. If there was no pain or exhaustion by the end of the class, if there was not at least a little bruise or a knot in the striking arts, or I didn't feel just whipped, or there wasn't any rug burn from the judo stuff, I didn't feel like I had done anything. That's just like when we get mad at people who say they want to keep it real. Those of us who are like, middle class black people and whatnot, we get mad at the keep it realers. Yet a lot of us middle class black people are in martial arts, and we choose to keep it real there. And what good is it doing? What good is it doing, people, if in the sake of keeping it real, you're killing people? We wouldn't tolerate this in any other avenue of life. But apparently, Japan, well, it's their country. They can do what they want. It's their art, too. They can keep it real and keep killing 3 kids a year. And you know what? And people wonder why I eventually just went along and went ahead and didn't fight the idea of me eventually starting my own store of martial arts. And I'm taking ownership of my own path, and I'm just going to guide it. And just guide my students as long as they want to be guided by me. You know, I'm not claiming an exorbitantly high rank, so I'm just going to guide my path right now. Because, you know, at least if I'm teaching a class, that's the only way that I know for sure I can guarantee that the goal is not to try to throw somebody hard enough to paralyze them. It's to learn how to use the techniques, get a good workout, and even have some fun. We have got to do something, especially in the combat sport aspect. That's not really the only place it is. It creeps throughout various parts of the martial arts. We've got to do something about the sadism and the masochism. We have got to accept the following things that are pretty much common sense. That you shouldn't have to get punched in the head to believe that a punch will hurt. You shouldn't have to get kicked in the eye or kicked in the head to believe that a kick will hurt. You shouldn't have to pass out to believe that a choke can knock you out. You shouldn't have to be super duper slammed to get a fracture, or worse, to believe that an ippon throw would hurt if you were actually thrown on concrete. You shouldn't have to go that far to believe that this stuff works. You know, you shouldn't have to crack a joint to believe that an arm bar or a knee lock or a leg lock actually works. That's another thing that would get me sometimes when I competed in judo. So there are some people, man, I'm like, I can feel your joint going. Why don't you tap already? Tap already. I never went as far as a break. I would just get people to tap. Me, if I feel a little pain, I'm tapping out. I'm not trying to tough it out. It is not combat. It is a game. People, combat sports, taekwondo, judo, boxing, sport karate, jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, MMA. These are games. These contests are games. You are not supposed to be killing each other. You're not supposed to hit each other hard enough to kill each other. If something happens, it should be an accident. We have got to do better. And I guess that's all I can say is that we've got to do better. Now, is me saying we got to do better going to help those poor, unfortunate young men in Japan that are going to continue to die in practice because the training is too rough? Maybe it will. What I want you to do, whether you like this video or not, I want you to go to the links below, read them, spread the word. Let's get this worldwide attention so that people can practice the martial arts that those of us who are into it, enjoy and live and be healthy and not practice them and die and become unhealthy because we're injured. Peace.